Good afternoon, Good Shepherd. It's Wednesday, July 14th, 2021. I'd like to begin today just with a reading. This was the gospel reading for the daily office lectionary this morning. And it seemed appropriate for a lot of things that are part of who Good Shepherd is, especially at this time. So the reading is from Mark chapter 2. It's a familiar set of stories. Mark chapter 2, beginning at verse 13. Jesus went out beside the lake again, and the whole crowd came to him, and he began to teach them. As he continued along, he saw Levi, Alphaeus' son, sitting at a kiosk for collecting taxes. Jesus said to him, "Follow me." Levi got up and followed him. Jesus sat down to eat at Levi's house. Many tax collectors and sinners were eating with Jesus and his disciples. Indeed, many of them had become his followers. When some of the legal experts from among the Pharisees saw that he was eating with sinners and tax collectors, they asked his disciples, "Why is he eating with sinners and tax collectors?" When Jesus heard it, he said to them, "Healthy people don't need a doctor, but sick people do. I didn't come to call righteous people, but sinners." John's disciples and the Pharisees had a habit of fasting. Some people asked Jesus, "Why did John's disciples and the Pharisees' disciples fast, but yours don't?" Jesus said, "The wedding guests can't fast while the groom is with them, can they? As long as they have the groom with them, they can't fast. But the days will come when the groom will be taken away from them, and then they will fast. No one sews a piece of new unshrunk cloth on old clothes. Otherwise, the patch tears away from it, the new from the old, and makes a worse tear. No one pours new wine into old leather wineskins. Otherwise, the wine would burst the wineskins, and the wine would be lost, and the wineskins destroyed. But new wine is for new wineskins." I was struck as I was reading that this morning by sort of the mission emphasis of this passage. Jesus tells his questioners that he is not here to just take care of the good people, the right people, but he's going to deal with the questionable folks, the folks who are looking for inclusion, looking for a way to be part of a covenant community. And he recognizes that his listeners may not cotton on to that so quickly. And then at the end of this passage, he sort of brings that home, saying, there are two issues here. There's new wine and old wine, new wineskins and old wineskins. And the old wineskins are great. I'm not here to deal with those old wineskins and all that kind of stuff, but we've got to figure out how to collect the new wine and hold the new wine together. And so I think about that as we begin to move out of COVID and we start reimagining. I'll get to that in a minute. All of the things that we need to look at. Certainly, we want to regather. We want to see each other again, but we always have to keep in mind that our primary purpose as a church is to be on mission, and that's to deal with the people who are around us and the world that surround us. As our why statement says, we are here to build relationships with each other, with God, and with the neighborhood, the world around us. And so as we move forward, that's going to be one of those things that's sort of going to be central. And as we regather, as we have started being in person together, if you have been here on a Sunday morning at 10, you may have looked around and seen people you don't know. And sometimes it's hard to see because of the mask, but we have had visitors. And so if you do see people here on a Sunday morning that you don't recognize, some of them may have started attending Good Shepherd during COVID, but this is the first time they've been able to be in the building. Some people I know are just coming in, seeing the sign saying we're worshiping, and they're taking the opportunity to come in. This is a friendly place. I've heard this over and over again. And so let's be friendly again, to be friendly to the newcomers and our visitors, to let them know that they are welcome here too, that there is a place in this wineskin for the wine that they're bringing. As we continue to move forward, things are looking good. Things are looking good. The committee that has been working to craft a youth director's job description has completed its work. We are presenting that to the Finance Committee and the vestry for approval, and we will start looking for a new youth director. So that is moving forward. We're happy about that. We hope to have somebody in place as soon as possible. You know, and so once we have that available, you'll be able to take a look at it. And if you know of somebody, that would be great if you could push them our way. And last night we had the first gathering of the Reimagining Task Force, the Reimagining Committee. You know, for 5 weeks, we've been having these 5 or 6 weeks, we've been having these conversations after each service about what things might look like as we come out of COVID, everything from worship style to Christian education, all of those kinds of things. There have been surveys that have been put out by email that you have answered. We've requested input from the people who are sort of head of various ministry groups whose workers, their work might be, there might be an impact on their work with changes in the service schedules or things like that. We've got all of that information together. This team of really gifted folk are beginning their work on it. And I'm going to tell you who they are. And if you have not had an opportunity to weigh in, whether in any of the after worship service conversations or in any other way, if you know some of these people and you want to give opinions, thoughts, you've got questions, they may have answers, but they'll certainly be more than happy to listen to your input. We encourage you to do that. Their contact information will go out in the e-news tomorrow, but I wanted to let you know who they are, and you can start thinking, oh, I know that person, I want to talk to them. The committee is being chaired, or task force, I'm not sure what we're calling it, I guess maybe task force is the best way to talk about it, is being chaired by Tom Billings and Ellen Blackburn, members of the vestry. Ellen, of course, is our junior warden. Tom's been here, has a wealth of experience in other Episcopal churches and all of that. And that was part of the reason why I asked them to sort of co-chair this. They are joined by Mark Kelly, Susie Street, Thomas Leonard, Andy Folkerth, Marge Pagula, and Jim Ball. We tried to put together a group of folks that had a variety of experience with Good Shepherd. Some of them have been here a long time. Some of them have been here not so long. Some folks are cradle Episcopalians. Some have come to the Episcopal Church from other denominations. There are musicians. There are people from the different services engaged in various ministries. And they're bringing their eyes to the material that we've collected, listening to y'all. And we'll be making some recommendations to the vestry in the next few weeks about how we might want to move forward. I want to stress that what we're trying to come up with is the best way forward that we can see at this time. Things may change. We may find that we've got a lot of people coming in and we need to expand offerings, or we may find that we don't have as many people as we used to and we need to compress offerings. But what we're aiming to do is come up with the best way of regathering for this fall and into the near future. Nothing is set in stone. Everything is on the table for consideration, and nothing is set in stone. And these people will be working hard. I will be working hard to figure out how to do this. The vestry will make the final decision as to how we move forward based on the recommendations coming from these folks. But please know that we are all doing this with mission in mind, as I brought up earlier, but recognizing that nothing is set in stone and that we will probably make some adjustments as we go on. But this will be our next best guess at how we can go forward. So please contact any of these folks or me if you have some concerns, questions, ideas. I love to hear the ideas, especially. So that will be great. I just want to let folks know this also will come out in the e-news, and I've mentioned it a little bit in some other context, but maybe not everybody has heard it. Next Wednesday night, that would be the 21st. Is that right? What was it? Coming up shortly, we're going to have a visit from Bishop Dan Edwards. He's a retired bishop from Nevada and has moved into Denver. And he is very involved in the Episcopal Peace Fellowship. an organization that was founded a long time ago and has a long history within the Episcopal Church. And he has graciously agreed to come and be with us in person, and to talk about his theological rationale for being a part of the Peace Fellowship, what the Peace Fellowship is and what it is not, which might surprise some folks, and what this might mean for us as we go forward in our ways of being peacemakers and maybe blessed in that way. So the dates for that actually will be in the e-news tomorrow, and it will be in person. That's our plan right now, either in the parish hall or in the chapel. I'm not quite sure where. And I invite you to come. It will be at 7 o'clock on a Wednesday evening and probably go until about 8:30. I've sat down, I've talked with Bishop Dan a number of times, and he's a delightful guy and passionate and wise, and I'm sure you'll enjoy him. And then the last thing I want to say, of course, is that Compline tonight at 8:45 has been a wonderful addition to our sort of our worship schedule this last year. Arose during COVID and will survive COVID online as a Zoom Compline. So nobody has to go anywhere, and you can do Compline lying in bed and then drift off to sleep. So blessings, my friends, as we go into this week. I look forward to seeing you on Sunday in one way or another. Again, if you have any questions or concerns about the reimagining and going forward, please let one of the folks know whose contact information you'll see tomorrow in the e-news, or you can let me know. I look forward to seeing you. Blessings to you all.